Hi guys, it's Aiden. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a video that I have not done one of these in a hot minute. And to be totally honest, I've really missed doing these videos. I asked you guys on my Instagram story to basically just send me all of your questions that you are a little bit too scared to ask anybody else. Earlier this year, I was doing this series called Teen Talk where I essentially do what I just said. I go to my Instagram story, I have you guys submit whatever you're comfortable with, whatever you are too scared to ask anybody else. Nothing is too taboo, nothing is off the table. And I did a couple of these videos at the beginning of the year and I had a lot of fun doing them. I did put a little bit of a pause on doing them just because one, some of the questions I felt like were getting a little repetitive and I was like, I don't know how long I can keep doing this. I feel like I'm kind of getting the same stuff over and over again. But I also talked about how this series unfortunately was having me enter a certain type of group of people watching my videos that was making me a little bit uncomfortable. My entire goal and intention with the series and why I did it in the first place was because I wanted to create a safe space where we could talk about this stuff. And you know, it's part of the internet, so now I know. When I first started doing it, I kind of was not prepared for it. Now I'm like, it's part of the job. I get it. But you know, people taking advantage of this and preying on me and whatever. Okay, I don't want to get into that in this video. That's not the point because we're back and I'm really excited to be doing this video again. I would love to continue doing more of these videos if you guys like them. So definitely make sure to follow me on Instagram because that is where I have you guys submit all of your questions. And again, as always with the series, everything is completely anonymous. So I'm not going to be airing out your guys' business. I will blur out all the names. We're totally good. It's a safe space. Okay. Cool. Yeah, let's just get into it. How to manage anxiety. Great first question because I feel like I'm the anxiety king. I'm very stressed out all of the time, very anxious. I naturally people are gonna think that I'm making this up, but I naturally am just like well, it's not that bad right now actually, but I naturally am just like a very shaky person. Very rarely am I ever not like shaking or anxious. That's just not a feeling that my body has. I think a lot of it is because I've endured so much in my childhood that I feel like I've carried that weight and anxiety into my adulthood. Great fun things obviously going on over here. In terms of how to manage it, I would say, first of all, everybody's so different. I think that there are certain things that people do for their anxiety that is not going to help me. I'm actually like, that's going to make it worse. For me personally, what really helps my anxiety is being able to identify what is anxiety that is actually just trying to protect me, because that's what anxiety is. Yes, it's debilitating. Yes, it's frustrating. But at the end of the day, your anxiety is literally just trying to protect you. But I think it's really important to identify, is my anxiety just trying to protect me or is it overprotecting me and it's really making me second guess and overthink things? I feel like trying to identify that line it's easier said than done, of course, and sometimes it's hard to identify, especially in the moments of feeling such intense anxiety. But I feel like being able to identify those moments and being able to tell myself, it's just your anxiety, you're going to be okay. My anxiety is telling me that if I do this thing, it's going to end up with me dead, and that's not the reality of the situation, and most of the time it's not. So I think being able to identify that is something that has really helped me a lot. In terms of actual tangible things that help me with my anxiety, meditation music, calming music is my favorite thing in the world. Insight Timer is a great app, not sponsored, could be. No, but I really love that app because they have guided meditations as well as just meditation music. Also Spotify, sometimes I'll listen to meditation music on Spotify. I also just find certain music to be really calming. I love Taylor Swift and Evermore and Folklore. Oh, you can't see Folklore. She's there, I promise. Evermore, Folklore, even Tortured Poets, those albums are really calming to me. Ethel Cain's music has been really calming and relaxing to me. I've been listening to her new album. It's quite dark, but it's the sound of it is really relaxing to me. Another artist I really love is, I believe their name is C Rose, I forget. He's this really talented artist. I really recommend you guys listen to him. His music is so calming and beautiful. I really have been listening to him a lot recently. I don't know, whenever I do these videos, I always feel bad giving my advice because I always have to preface and be like, this works for me, it might not work for you, you just gotta find what works for you. And I feel like that's just something that comes with time and age. Not that I'm that old, I'm 20, but I've been dealing with anxiety for so long that I've kind of been able to identify some things that help. Unsure if you've said it before, but now that you're an adult, do you still struggle with an eating disorder, weight, etc.? This is an interesting question because I think I have to say I do, but it's definitely not as bad as it used to be. I know I did a video at the beginning of this year, but other than that, I don't know how much I've actually talked about my personal struggles with having an ED. It's been hard, I'm not gonna lie. It's been really rough. I feel like I'm obviously at a much better point, but I do recognize that I'm nowhere near where I want to be or I should be. And that is frustrating to me, but I do recognize that hopefully in a couple years, I will be able to look back at maybe even this specific video and be like, yeah, you were really struggling, but it's okay because now we're not. I hesitate to say whether I still struggle or not because it's not as bad as it used to be, but it's also not good. A couple years ago, I went through a phase of really bad. I used to play this very sick and not fun game with myself where I would not eat for as long as I could go. It was like a game, literally, how long can I go without food? And it would last a couple days. I would be at school and then I would pass out, and it would turn into a whole thing. So that was obviously not great. That was also something that I did like continuously. Like, it's not like I would pass out and that'd be a reality check where I'd be like, oh my god, like I need to start eating. I would be like, no, I don't really care. It stemmed from two different things. It stemmed from me literally just wanting to hurt myself. Genuinely, I was so depressed and so miserable that I didn't feel like I was even deserving to eat, which sounds so crazy because it's like you need to eat to live. But at that point in my life, I was like, I don't care. I don't deserve this. I don't want to be here. And the other part of it too was I genuinely thought that I looked better when I was like 90 pounds. I genuinely, when I was like 17, 18, was like 95 pounds. Like, it was bad. I'm honestly not really that much better now, but at least I'm not actively trying to go out of my way to harm myself. But it's definitely been a really long struggle. I'm not gonna lie. I still struggle. I shouldn't be saying this, and I'm not encouraging people to do this, but I very rarely eat 3 meals a day. I'm still very underweight, but I am actually making the steps to trying to get better. I've been working out recently, which is obviously a massive step in the right direction, I think. I've stopped getting on scales because I realized that doesn't lead me down any productive path for me. So I definitely do still struggle with it, and I'm trying to get better at it because my body is something that has been a very touchy and difficult subject for me, and I don't want to feel that way. Like, I want to feel confident in my body and the way that I look. It's going to take a while, but at least I'm actually taking the steps to do so. And I'm glad that I'm finally now out of that mentality where it's not only am I trying to be better for myself, but I'm also just like not trying to hurt myself anymore. So that's good. Pat myself on the back. We got to take the baby steps when we get them. Does it get better as you get older? Life in general. I mean, this is obviously a very subjective question because sometimes it does for some people and sometimes it doesn't. I struggled a lot when I was younger because I wanted the sense of freedom that you get when you're an adult. I hated being a teenager so much. It was literally my least favorite thing in the world. I just wanted the freedom of being able to do whatever I wanted and not have to ask my parents for permission. I've also never had a good relationship with either of my parents, so the only time I would ever really talk to them is when I was like asking to do something, which would then lead to them saying no most of the time because I wouldn't talk to them. So then they'd be like, well, we're not gonna do this for you because you don't even talk to us. So that was something I struggled with a lot. But now that I'm older and I don't have to ask to do anything, I do feel a lot better. I'm also not in school anymore, which is for me personally, and again, I'm not encouraging this, everybody's experience and path is incredibly different. But for me, getting out of school was the best thing that's ever happened to me. Genuinely, I felt trapped, anxious, literally the whole thing. It was god awful for me. So honestly, the second I graduated high school, I still have a lot of things that I've struggled with, but the second I got out of high school, I felt so like just a weight was lifted off of me. So in that sense, yes, getting older for me personally, okay, again, this is just me, has made my life a little bit better, but also there's now things that, because I'm an adult, really stress me out and that I have to deal with now that I didn't when I was a teenager. You know, I don't want to just tell people who are younger and be like, just wait till you get older, it'll be so much better, because sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't, you know what I mean? I will say, I do think that there is like a specific image of what being a teenager is supposed to look like. Like, you're supposed to have all these friends, you're supposed to hang out with people, you're supposed to do all these cool things. And obviously that's how a lot of people's experiences go. That's not how mine went. Mine was really depressing. If yours is really depressing, I do want to give you hope that it can get better in the future, but I also don't want to be like, the second you turn into an adult, everything is going to be perfect, because it's not true. There's still a lot of struggles and a lot of things that you will have to deal with, but that's also life. Is it normal to be terrified of sex? Like, it's terrifying to me. Yeah, it is. Trust me. I was also terrified. I was like, I don't want to do this, especially because breaking news, Aiden Watson likes guys. I know. Shocker. We're all surprised here. So that added a whole extra layer, whereas like even just like a guy and a girl having sex, like that is still really intimidating for people. But for me, I was like, I don't think I can do it. I don't want to. Well, it's not that I didn't want to, I did, but I was just like, I don't think I can. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really like to do it, even to this day. I would rather do everything else. Like, I will do all the other stuff. The actual action of like intercourse is something I'm not really interested in because it's a lot of work. It also like hurts if you don't do it right. And most of the time I just like don't care enough to put in the effort to do it right. So I'm like, I don't want to I don't want to. Yes, it is very normal to feel scared, whether you are somebody who is going to be sleeping with the opposite gender, same gender, it doesn't really matter. It's always a very scary experience for everybody. Don't feel like it's a uniquely you experience. It's something that I feel like everybody I know was pretty scared to do it the first time, so totally normal. I'm scared that I'm never going to be loved romantically because I have a very burdening disability. Ooh, this one's interesting. Okay, so obviously I don't know what your disability is. I don't know if it's like a physical disability, a mental disability. Either way, I can totally understand why this is a daunting feeling. I don't want to compare myself to you, and that's definitely not my intention with this, but I have so many mental health disorders and like things that I have to deal with on a daily basis that is 100% something that I, to this day, really freaks me out, because I'm like, getting into relationships is already scary enough, and then I have all of these like disorders that affect how I act and how I behave and how I do whatever, okay? And I've definitely had moments of being like, nobody's gonna want to be with me. I am so sensitive. I am so, all of these things, like, no, literally nobody. It's not happening. So again, I don't want to like completely compare myself to you, but I definitely have felt this in my own personal way before. There's nothing I can really say, unfortunately, to like, I can't guarantee you that anything's gonna happen. I can't be like, no, just wait it out and you'll get into a relationship in the next 6 months. I don't know, okay? I always encourage people though to just trust the process. Don't try to rush it beforehand, because then you might end up in a situation where it's gonna end up hurting you more. And also, just a reminder, I don't know how old the person who said this is, but regardless of however old you are, like, you still have so much life to live. You have so much life to see. You have so many new experiences to be had, so many new people to meet. I understand in the moment it can feel like, based on where you are in your life and the relationships you do have, maybe where you live, like all those environmental factors obviously play a role into it. It can feel like nothing's ever gonna change because you just feel like you're stuck in one position. I totally get that. Just a reminder that you don't know. You really don't know. Like, your life could change overnight and you will never know when it's gonna happen, and you also don't know how it's gonna happen or what your life is gonna turn into. It's also incredibly, like, unfortunately, I hate to say it, but it is incredibly true on what people say, where they're like, I found love when I wasn't looking. It just ended up happening. What advice do you have for someone who's never really been sexually active but might be soon, especially concerning health practices and safety? Well, in terms of like safety, obviously like protection is the number one thing. Obviously, I don't know if this person is going to be active with somebody of the same gender. If not, either way, protection, like, you should be using that regardless, especially if it's your first time. Like, I don't care what the other person says, like, you need to use it. Don't be stupid, please. In terms of other stuff, I would just say, like, practicing with yourself. I know it sounds kind of weird, but figuring out what you and your body enjoy, what you find to be pleasurable. It's going to be awkward the first time you do it because you probably don't have a total understanding. Not that you get to a point where you like totally understand, but you really don't like fully understand what you like, what you don't like, what feels good, what doesn't, especially if it's with someone else, because doing it with yourself is like one thing, and then to have somebody else doing it. But if you can recognize with yourself like what you do enjoy, whether it's a certain way of doing something, whether it's like just random things that you enjoy, you can tell that to the person that you were being active with, and then it'll hopefully be a more beneficial experience for you. But also, no pressure if the first couple of times you do it, it's not comfortable, it's not pleasurable. If it's generally like not comfortable, then like stop doing it. But also, I'm not saying this to like discourage you, but I'm just saying, like, don't be so discouraged afterwards if you do it and you're like, I don't understand, I don't really like that. Because with anything, it takes practice. How do you get less scared of following your dreams, like less afraid of rejections or risk? My biggest advice to this is that your fear is not going to do anything except for prevent you from achieving whatever you want to achieve. I guess from my own personal experience, I could just say that, like, I have so many dreams and aspirations and things and goals that I have with making content. Like, I don't want to just be making videos. I have so many bigger things that I want to do, and I would love to hopefully do those in the future and be able to share them with you guys. But I definitely do still have moments of being like, this feels cringy, or like, I shouldn't be doing this. Why am I doing this? Or I'm scared to do this because what if it doesn't, lead me exactly to what I want to do? But again, my biggest advice is you have to stop overthinking it and just do it. Spend more time creating the life and taking the steps to build the life that you want to live, and spend less time thinking about it. Just do it. I could easily sit here for like hours and hours being like, oh my god, I need to figure out what video to do. Oh my god, is this video going to do well? If I film this video, is it even worth my time? But I don't like doing that because I'm wasting so much time thinking about it and not spending enough time doing it. And also, the more time you spend just doing it rather than thinking about it, the less you're going to overthink it, because you don't have time. You just are like, I have to do this. I'm going to get it done. Whether it feels perfect in the moment or not is kind of irrelevant to the situation. At least I'm making steps. It's really easy to get locked in your own head and feel like you have to do something perfectly or execute it flawlessly. And obviously I would love to do everything perfectly, but that is not realistic. And also I found that the times that I spend time overthinking something and then executing it, it doesn't even come out good. Like I would have done it better had I just done it off a whim and not spent, you know, hours and hours sitting in my room being like, wait, I need to figure out how to do this perfectly. It's like, just do it. Again, easier said than done, but if you need a sign to tell you to just do it, whatever it is, just do it. A wise woman once said, my advice is always ruin the friendship. Better that than regret it. You see how that works? When and how do you end a friendship? Whoa, okay. Big question, big question. I feel like there's obviously not a blueprint. There's not a specific right way to end a friendship. It obviously depends on what's going on in the friendship. Why is it ending? Why do you feel the need to end the friendship? Obviously, I could sit here and be like, well, the best way is obviously to sit down and have a proper conversation with them. But I recognize that that's most of the time not how that ends up happening. I don't know that I've ever done that for a friendship that I've ended. I don't think I've ever cordially sat down with somebody and been like, you did this and it hurt my feelings. You did this. It's always been like a fight, honestly. Like it's always been a fight. But when it comes to ending friendships, I think it is obviously one of those things where if you have decided that this is not a relationship that you want to keep anymore, then you've obviously already done some thought about it. I always recommend to people though to like tell the person before you end the relationship, friendship or relationship, whatever it is. It's like you have to tell them why. I think it's really disrespectful, and I'm not like accusing anybody of this. I'm not saying the person who said it. I'm just saying in general. This actually happened to me recently, which is probably why I'm thinking about it. But I had somebody who sent me a giant paragraph on why they didn't want to be my friend anymore, and then they just blocked me on everything. And I didn't even have a chance to say anything back. Like this person literally just completely was like, I don't want to be your friend because this, and this. Okay, bye. And I was like, well, how am I supposed to defend myself or also tell you that literally everything you said in this paragraph is not true? I never said any of those things. So it's like, I do think you owe it to the other person to explain like, this is why I'm not happy with our relationship right now. Again, relationship, friendship, whatever it might be. And also with any sort of relationship that you have with people, it's like communication is everything. A lot of the time, friendships, relationships can simply be saved because of communication. Lack of communication is literally like the number one downfall for a friendship, a relationship. So I definitely think communication is just the best way if you are feeling like you want to end the friendship. Just being open about it, you know what I mean? Telling them why you feel the way that you do, and the person can, you know, take it or leave it. Will you ever get married / start a family / adopt? I genuinely don't know. I feel like marriage is such a weird thing to me because I can't picture myself getting married. But like I want to be in a relationship, and I obviously want to find somebody that I can like spend the rest of my life with. I would love to get a rock on my hand like Miss Taylor Swift. Like I would love that. I think it's the idea of a wedding to me. Like the idea of me having a wedding is really like, I just don't see that for me. But I don't, like I said, you don't know where life is going to take you. You really don't. This is actually really interesting because for the longest time, and obviously I'm still very young, so like whatever, but for the longest time I was like, no, absolutely not. I'm not having kids. Obviously if I did have kids, like I would have to adopt, which is obviously not a problem at all. I was very against it because I'm like, I can barely take care of myself. I don't want to deal with that. But as I get older, and again, I'm 20, so like I'm so young. My mentality on kids has kind of switched a little bit because now I'm kind of at the point where I'm like, I would be maybe interested in having a kid and trying to give him a way better life than I had. Not saying that my life is so horrible, but you know, I also dealt with a lot, and I really, growing up, felt like I didn't have anybody, and I feel like I, you know, wasn't loved and nurtured in the way that I should have been, or taken care of in the way that I should have been, or you know, that type of thing. And I would love to be able to give that to somebody else because I do think that, I don't know if that's like selfish to say, but I do think that I would be a good dad. I don't know though, like I'm so young, that's not gonna happen for years. I'm honestly also like, I'm kind of interested in like just doing it by myself. Obviously if I could like find somebody that I trusted enough and like, you know, was happy to raise a kid with, that would be amazing. But I'm also kind of interested in just doing it alone. I don't know, we'll see. I'm not making a family channel though. That's not happening. That's whack to me. We're not doing that. Okay, well, I think that is going to bring us to the end of this video. I really appreciate all of you who submitted anything. Even if I wasn't able to get to your specific question, I just want to say thank you for taking the time to make this video come to life. This is obviously all because of you guys. I love you so much. Please take care of yourselves. Be easy on yourself out there. Life is crazy and rough. We don't need to be rougher on ourselves than the world is already being to us. So follow me on Instagram if you ever want to be in a video like this in the future. Also just follow me on Instagram. Like I post cute pictures, like if you want to see them. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you